Okay, class, in this video, we're going to be finishing up Unit 9 on daily living. We're going to practice using let's and let's not. We covered about what they are. Now we're going to practice using them in sentences. And then we're going to review some things in Unit 9. So today I want you to get out your workbook. And it's page 113. You should have already had it. If you don't already have it finished, go ahead and complete it, and then come back and we can go over the answers together. So we're looking at part 2. Oh, shucks, guys. Okay, this is my contact information. This is still Ventures Level 2, and this is for Wednesday, June the 3rd, and this is our part 1, okay? Like I said, we're finishing up Unit 9 in this video, so for part 2, we'll probably be moving on to Chapter 10. Okay, so part 2 on page 113, it says, complete the conversation about the new apartment. Use let's and let's not with buy, make, fix, or clean. So a reminder that let's equals let us. Okay? Just a reminder of what that means. And number 1 says the window is broken. Let's fix it. Okay, let's fix it. Okay, because they're in agreement. Okay? So let's do number 2 together. The couch is stained. I know it's let's buy a new couch. We know it's buy because it talks about getting something new. Okay? And then they're in disagreement, so we see no, so we're going to do let's not because it's negative. And buy a new one. It's too expensive. Let us clean it ourselves. I have a special cleaner for couch material. So that's how we know it's clean, because the next sentence says, I have a special cleaner for couch material. Okay? Number 3. The curtains are torn. Let's buy. We know they're talking about buying them because it talks about new curtains, okay? And then it says no. So we know we're going to use let's not because it's negative. Let's not buy new curtains. Let's make new curtains. I have some beautiful materials. So they're talking about making their own curtains. Number 4, that chair has a broken leg. Yes, let's buy a new chair. We know it's buy because they're talking about new items. And then they're in agreement. It says, okay, so we know it's just going to be let's buy, because it's positive, right? It doesn't say no. And the last one, number 5, the carpet is stained. So if it's stained, we know we're going to use the word clean. So I know let's clean it ourselves. Good idea to get all this on the same line, I'm going to say. Good idea, let's buy some carpet cleaner. Okay, I'm going to scroll back down so you can see 2 through 5 if you need to make any corrections. Also, if you have somebody to practice with, those are some good sentences to use to be able to practice going using let's and let's not, okay? And that gives you practice with pronunciation, reading, and fluency, and all that. So if you have somebody to practice saying those with, that's a good idea. Okay, I'm going to stop the video for just a second, and I'm going to clear it off, and I'm going to pull us up some review items. Okay, so the first thing we're going to review is some grammar, and we're going to fill in these questions with these words, these vocabulary words up here. We have lock, plumber, light bulb, electrician, and sink. So let's read number 1. Can you unclog the... If we're looking at the vocabulary, the only one that makes sense is sink. So can you unclog the sink? Right? Will you change the... Well, you can change a lock or a light bulb, right? But this one is going to be a light bulb because you have to put new ones in, right? Okay, would you call a, if you're calling, it has to be a person, so which one of these words describes a person? It's a plumber. Would you call a plumber? Okay, oh, well there's 2. Okay. We know this one's plumber because it has A, and that's a vowel, and P is a consonant. Down here, we're going to use a different one. Could you call an electrician? We know that that's this one because an goes beside a vowel, and electrician starts with a vowel. Okay, can you fix the lock? That's the last one left, right? So, can you unclog the sink? Will you change the light bulb? Would you call a plumber? Can you fix the lock? And could you call an electrician? All right. So, if you want to, you can stop the video and jot those down, and we're going to move on working on some more grammar. Okay, so we're going to fill in these sentences with some words to make them make sense. So let me get rid of this bank of words. We're not using that anymore. And so this is more grammar practice. So let's look at which bank does he, would we use recommend or recommends? Which bank does he recommend? Is how we would answer that, okay? Which carpenter, we're going to put it right here, do or does the tenant like? Which carpenter does the tenant like? That's the word we want. The landlord, is it suggest or suggest Midway Electric? He's going to suggest. Okay, the landlord suggests Midway Electric. Which restaurant do they like or likes? Which restaurant do they like or likes? It's do they like, okay? I recommend Save More Supermarket. It or its? Open 24 hours a day. It's its. For it is open 24 hours a day. So that's how we would fill out those sentences to make them make sense. Once again, you are more than welcome to stop the video and copy them down for more reference. I'm going to stop the video again, and I'm going to type up a paragraph so we can practice some more vocabulary and reading. Okay, so here's it's a letter written again about a letter of complaint about some things wrong in an apartment. So wherever there's like the little line, we're going to use a vocabulary word. So the words that we're going to use are ceiling, fix, lights, send, and tenant. Okay? So let's figure out where they go. I am a tenant at 812 Valley Street. I am writing to you about some problems. First, the blank is leaking. Would the lights leak or the ceiling leak? The ceiling is leaking. Probably they're on the bottom floor and there's a water leak upstairs. So the ceiling is leaking. Second, right, there is no blank in the hallway. So there are no lights. That's what makes sense. In the hallway. Could you please, we want them to send a repair person. A repair person to, we want them to fix these things. Fix these things. You can contact me in apartment 3A. Thank you, Daniel Brown. Okay, so let's, I'm going to get rid of our words up here. And let's read the letter. Also, notice that this is a paragraph and it has the indent here. And this is another thought, so in another paragraph, so it has the indentation here. So that's how we write a letter. Now, we would also write, dear whoever the landlord is, or attention, right? So we don't know the name of the landlord, so I'm just going to leave a blank. So, dear landlord, I am a tenant at 812 Valley Street. I am writing to you about some problems. First, the ceiling is leaking. Second, there are no lights in the hallway. Could you please send a repair person to fix these things? And that's a question, so we're going to add a question mark. You can contact me in apartment 3A. Thank you, Daniel Brown. Okay, so what are the things wrong in the apartment? The ceiling is leaking and there are no lights in the hallway, right? So those are the two things that are wrong. Who wrote the email or the letter? Who wrote the letter? The letter, Daniel Brown, right? And this is a letter of complaint, probably either to a property manager or a landlord, okay? I'm going to pause it and then we'll continue on. Okay, so once again, I would like to give you some practice at writing a letter of complaint. So the first thing, or an email, so the first thing we always want is the to. Who are we sending the email to? And this would be the landlord, or the owner, or the property manager. It just depends on whose name and title that you're given, but you would put their name here. And what is the subject? We're going to talk about some apartment problems. Now, if you're renting a house, which some of us may be doing, you can put house problems. But this is an apartment. And then we're going to put from. And this is where, once again, that you put your own name. So, Angela Monroe. Okay? So, what we want to do is use page 1. Let's see. Let me turn back. We're up to Unit 9, and we can look at those emails that were sent as a template. There's a page on 118 and there's some in the workbook that we looked at. Now, because this is an email, I'm still going to go ahead and indent to make my paragraph, and we're going to tell them I am a tenant at, I'm going to use one of the addresses from the book, 3914 5th Street. This is where you would write your own address, right? And you're going to tell them who you are and what you want. I am writing to you. You can say about or concerning. It means the same thing. Problems in my apartment. Right? So we're going to start a new paragraph. Remember, I always want you to, in this example, I want you to use 2 different problems. So you can look on page 119, and there's a list of different problems going on in a building. So pick 2. Right? Okay? So we're going to pick 2 of those. Let me see here. All right. First, we're going to talk about, there is what? Let's see. Let's pick, the living room window is broken. Okay, now be sure that after when you list things, you put first, second, we put a comma in there. So there's a mistake. So I went back in and I'm going to put a comma there. First, the living room window is broken. We're going to say second, because we said there are going to be 2 things wrong in the apartment, right? The refrigerator is leaking. Okay? So first, there is, hold on. First, the living room window is broken. Sorry, there was a mistake there. And second, the refrigerator is leaking. So you can pick 2 different ones. You can say the kitchen sink is clogged, the toilet's leaking. You know, just pick 2 different ones. Don't necessarily use the ones that I chose, right? So now we've said where we live, we've said what's wrong. Now we want to tell them where they can reach us, because we want to be able for them to call us or reach us. I can be reached at, we're going to say apartment 3A, in apartment 3A, or if they want to give us a call, it may be good to go ahead and list a phone number, and so we're or call me at, and we're going to give them our phone number, 713-555-1944. I can be reached in apartment 3A, or call me at to schedule repairs. Okay, because we do want them to call us to schedule some repairs. So we're gonna also sign the, we're gonna say thank you for your time or attention to these matters. We want to be polite. Thank you for your attention. Your attention in correcting these issues. Thank you for your attention. Yeah. And then we're going to sign our name. Now, if it's an email, we're going to hit send. If not, we're going to have to probably put it in an envelope and mail it. So there's another example of a letter of complaint. We use two different issues. It may be good to go ahead and practice writing another one. You can even practice not writing a letter of complaint about a building. You may want to start practice writing a letter of complaint to a grocery store, a Walmart, or your job. Just go ahead and practice writing a letter maybe to a different place than an apartment. Okay, so this is all for part 3. So I will see everybody back. Sorry guys, I don't know what happened to my my little video, but anyway, so this is part 1. So I'll see everybody back here in just a few minutes for, and don't forget to go ahead and put your name in the bottom in the comment section.